So welcome to today's Pilates session. Today's session will be focusing on what I'd like to call an emergency procedure. So if you have been, let's say, gardening, decorating around the house, and you wake up the next morning and your back is completely stiff, you struggle to get out of bed and you are in pain. Today's session is all about getting release of that pain and getting you more mobile and getting you feeling much better. So if you ever experience any of those problems, then this is what we're going to do. So you need a nice comfortable surface to work from. If you've got a mat, fantastic. If not, something soft, something that's going to be comfortable for your spine. Lay yourself down on your back and we shall get underway. So you've woken up, your back is stiff, it's tight, you're struggling to bend down, pull your socks up, and everything is feeling really uncomfortable. So the first thing you need to do is give yourself some space, clear your head, lay yourself down on the mat, on your back, positioning your body in a semi-supine position. So have your feet hip width apart, knees raised, feet into the mat, arms by your side. And first of all, we're just going to do a little bit of pelvic tilting to start with. So taking the pelvis there from the floor and just tilting away from you and then tilting back in towards you. And if it's feeling quite stiff and tight, might feel a little bit awkward to start with. Everything might be slightly restricted. So you're just going to tilt that pelvis gently forward and back, just to gently mobilize and release any stress that you've got in that area. So I'd like you to almost imagine with a bowl of soup just balanced below the belly button. When you're rolling the pelvis forward, imagine you're tilting that soup away from you. And then when you tilt towards you, that soup is now pouring towards your tummy. So take that bowl of soup and just tilt the pelvis until you can feel the soup just gently swaying forward and swaying towards you. And we just want to help just to release a little bit of tension around that pelvic area. And then if you're still finding a little bit of tension, starts to get uncomfortable, starts to get a little painful, then all we're going to do is just sink that lower back into the mat, into the floor, and we're going to tuck our knees, both knees in towards the chest. And that's a nice release as you tuck the knees in as far as you can. And then we're going to return to that semi-supine position. And we're going to bring our knees together, our feet together, and our thighs together. I'm going to go wide with those arms. Palms are going to be facing to the ceiling. And we're going to keep those shoulders and arms down to the floor. And you're going to drop the hips now, just gently to the left. Now, if it's tight and restricted, you're not going to be able to go far. So don't force the legs to the side. Just drop them to a level that feels just right for you. And then start to bring them back up. Then as you drop the other way, same thing. Slowly drop the knees, drop the hips to a level that just feels right. Don't force down. And then you're just going to gently drop both ways. So we're going to go back to the left and back to the right. And as you go on, as the day goes on, then you're going to get a bit more range of motion. So if you came back to this exercise, you should feel yourself being able to drop a little bit further. But if it becomes painful, then don't. Just drop as far as it feels comfortable for your hips to drop. And we'll just gradually get that range of motion back in, so you're feeling less tight and you're less stiff around that lower back. Just gently mobilizing the hip area and just easing off any pressure on the lower back. So once we drop both ways, we've done that probably about 4 or 5 times. We once again might need to relax so we can bring the knees back into the chest. So we go with our arms wide once again, and then this time taking the legs now to a progressive position, tabletop. Now from there, once again, the knees, the thighs and the feet are together. Now, as you drop, it's a slightly more challenging drop this time. You want to make sure that the feet stay exactly where they are. If those legs get tired, the feet start to drop down. You've got to keep those feet where they were to start with. And as you drop to the right there, you're going to start to feel that left arm, that left shoulder starting to lift. You've got to keep that down. So drop slowly. You're going to feel a little bit of a pull and a stretch going right through the back. Now, we don't go any further if you start to feel the arm lift. And then when you return, try and keep the knees together, bring the legs back up. If those legs are getting tired, you're going to drop, you're going to relax. We're going to bring the legs back up when we're ready, and then we're going to drop slowly to the left. So as you're dropping down, you're going to feel that right shoulder. And if your back is really tight, that shoulder is going to lift quite early on. So as soon as you feel the lift, we don't drop any further. Make sure the knees stay together and then return up. We move quite slowly, so we need to relax those legs because they will be getting tired. And again, if we need to, we relax and we tuck the knees in towards the chest. So you're just holding yourself into the wall. Now from there, we're going to plant the feet back down. We're going to bring our arms in by our side and we're going to take our left leg. And you're going to tuck the knee in towards the chest. And then you're going to start to take that knee out to the side. So we're just building some strength and mobility into that left lower back, coming out. And as you take the knee and the leg away from you, we're now ready to straighten that leg out and away. If straightening the leg causes a pull through that lower back, just keep the knee bent instead rather than straightening it out. Take the left knee back in and then take that knee out to the side. So you're taking it away from you. As you take the knee out, you're then ready to straighten that leg as far away as you wish to go, as far as it feels comfortable. But make sure the right leg stays completely still. So keep the right leg semi-supine or straight on the floor, whatever you prefer, as long as it stays still and it's not influencing anything that left side's going to do. So we're going to go again. We're going to target 3 to 4 movements from here, taking that knee out, moving with control, not rushing, taking your time, allowing that hip and the knee as well. It's a good exercise for helping to strengthen your knee joints. We're going to go one last time. And we just want to start releasing a bit more mobility into our hips. So we're just rotating away and slowly extend. Now we need to do the same on the other leg. So when you're ready, drop the left leg down, relax, and then give yourself a moment. And then with the right knee, bring the knee in towards the chest, and then slowly let's take the knee out and away and extend Knee comes in. We're rotating the knee out there just to mobilize the hip joint, but also help to strengthen through the knee. And then we're going to straighten that leg out. And we're going to go again. Left leg stays completely still. If you're going with a semi-supine position, then all you need to do is imagine that you have something balanced on your left knee. So you want to keep the leg as still as you possibly can. And we'll go one more time on that right side. And from there, we bring the leg in, and we can take both legs from here. Tuck the knees into the chest, hold into a ball, plant the legs back down so we return to that semi-supine position. Arms are going to stay by our side. We're going to take the right leg and we're going to straighten on the floor. If this next move is too uncomfortable, you're just going to bring the leg back into semi-supine. And your left leg, option one is to keep the knee bent, especially if straightening the leg is too much for your lower back. Stay in tabletop if things are really tight and really stiff. If you can, straighten the left leg out without any pain, feel free, but keep a bent knee if you need to. And with your left leg, you're going to circle the leg away. So start to cross the left leg over, raising that hip off the floor, and then circle the leg out. And return. Now, if there's a little bit of restriction and it's still stiff and tight, you might want to draw the circles a little smaller. And we're just going to target 5 circles. And then we're going to bring the knee in. Hold. Relax the left leg, semi-supine or straight. And then we can extend, taking that right leg, cross that leg over, and then we'll draw 5 circles with the right side. And from there, let's bring our knees back in. Let's hold and hug from there. And then we're going to take the left leg now, just cross that left leg over the right. Just hold for a moment from there. And then release. Let's take the right leg across the left leg. And out. And release. And then we're going to just turn to the side. So let's roll over onto our right. Legs together, knees bent. Head in your hand, left hand supporting the body. Feet stay together, clamshell position now. So let's take the left knee. With your left knee, I want you to take an inhale and open. You're going to rotate the hip and raise the knee up to the ceiling or as far as you can. If it starts to grind, get painful, or you feel there's so much restriction you can't go any further, then do not force. If you force, you'll end up rolling the body backwards. We've got to keep the body as still as we can to hold and support and strengthen that hip. So let's drop and close the clamshell. We're going to go 4 times on here. Inhale and open. Keep the right leg to the floor, just make sure the knee doesn't lift. Exhale and close. Inhale and open. Exhale and close. Okay, one more time. And relax and release. We can then roll over onto our left. And then we are ready to have our right leg ready. Feet together, knees stacked, and inhale, open. You'll find one side will be able to open much easier than the other, depending on which is more dominant and which one's been hit more. So if you're tight around the back, you may feel one side will be very much more restricted. So you might want to do a little bit more repetitions, maybe 1 or 2 more sets on that weaker side, the side which is more restricted, and build up from there. So we're doing 4 on that. We're going to go back and we're going to do another one on that left. So we shall turn over, back in position. We can progress this if we wanted to. Take the left leg and just lift so it's away. And that foot is not now supporting on the floor. And then you can rotate from there. You're going to get a bit more rotation, but it's slightly harder because it requires more work for the legs because we don't have the other leg on the floor to help us. So if you find this move too much, too strenuous, then go back to the first one we did. We're going to target about 4 on this side as well. Again, we rotate the hip, raise the knee, but we just make sure we're not forcing the knee up. Just enough for you to feel the hip, possibly going to feel it through the outside and the inside and outside of the thighs. Try not to let the body fall backwards. And then when you've done this, relax, drop. We're then ready to change to that other leg. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to raise. And again, if this one's too much, you go back to the first option. You have your feet together into the clamshell position. And we're holding that leg level with the hip. We're not going to lift too high. Okay, so we're doing 4 on this side. So when we've done those 4, we're now going to turn over onto our front, onto our hands and knees. And then from that position, you're in a box, we are going to sit into a child's pose. So you're going to now sit back, drop back onto the heels of your feet, drop your head down, stretch those arms forward, and sink. Then you're going to make your way into the box position, your hands just underneath the shoulders now, and then straightening the back. First thing we're going to do is drop into the cat position. So we are going to roll the spine, loosen it all off, make it more flexible and more mobile. So we are going to drop the head down, tilt the pelvis away. So you're pushing the belly button up into the spine and you're rounding the back into a cat. Then we need to lengthen. So we're going to push almost as if you're pushing the bum to the ceiling as you tilt the pelvis and you just raise that head and we roll again. And extend. And we're about 4 or 5 times. Just gently rolling to a position that feels comfortable. Do not force the move. And then when we are done, you now need to slowly make your way up onto your feet and taking your time as well, as you might possibly feel lightheaded. So when you are up, you should feel a little bit lighter, a bit more movement through the lower back and through the hips. So you should be able to rotate side to side with much more ease. A couple of little things you can do whilst you're standing. First thing to do is to take your arms above your head and take your right hand to your left wrist and hold yourself nice and long, nice and straight. And just gently start to lean over to the right. So just a slight bend. Don't force anything. And then return and come up. Then I want you to switch by taking the left hand to the right wrist and just bend very slightly over to the left. Try not to lean backwards or drop forwards. Stay straight on as you drop to the side. We'll go again. Switch hands. Come back up. And once more to the side there. And then you're just going to release, relax. And then just to finish things off, as you stand, you're just going to roll the spine now. So I want you to drop the head and draw the shoulders forward, drop the belly button into the spine. And then you're going to roll down. So you're going to roll through the back, releasing that tension as you come down. And you're only going to roll to a level that feels comfortable. So if you're quite tight, you may feel the knees as low as you wish to go. But if you want to go further and you can feel there's a little bit more mobility to drop to your shins, come down. And then start to roll back up. And she'll feel a bit freer, a bit looser, so we shall roll it again. So let's breathe in. Exhale and roll to a level that just feels right. You might want to go shins. If you want to go all the way down, just make sure you feel comfortable in doing so. And lengthen up. We'll just drop one more time. Let's breathe in. Let's stand. Let's drop forward. Let's draw the belly button in so your abdominals are supporting the back. And exhale down. And return. And release. From there, you can just gently shake and release, and just a little bit of rotational movement there, just to free up any last bits of tension that you may be able to feel through that lower back area. Thank you for joining me. You want to continue doing these exercises daily to help loosen that back further. Obviously, as well, make sure you use hot and cold compress, one or the other, or a mixture of the two, just to help reduce any inflammation. So it just eases that back a little bit faster and help to improve that recovery. Thank you for joining me for today. Take care of yourselves, stay in good health, and I will see you soon.